up, everybody? Welcome back to ERABODY's podcast, where generations collide and cultures combine. Today we have a great show for you. As you can see, we have a special guest sitting next to us, man. When we talk about from trials to triumph, this guy is the example of that. We have Troy Hankton, who was formerly incarcerated, but he turned himself around, man. He's now an entrepreneur and a coach, and so much more that we're going to dive into. But for now, it's your boy, Ricky.
And I'm the Honorable Darren D. Purnell, the street speaker himself. What's up, Rick?
What's going on?
Troy?
What's up?
Now we normally don't open up with a guest, but you'll get to bridge in on some of these topics. Rick, we woke up Saturday morning, Children Water Board in the news again.
Yeah.
We don't have water. I mean,
that was rough.
Can they get out of the news, Troy? Can Children Water Board do anything just to give me a week where they don't got no bad stories, and then we ain't get no buzz, no text messages, no nothing. Woke up, no water.
Well, it's crazy for me because I didn't know. I'm just hearing it. I'm gonna tell you what I found out. So the neighbors in the neighborhood just two of them was throwing up, and then I'm like, what's wrong? It was like, they was throwing up from a stomach virus. Yeah. They drinking the water. So the other one was throwing up. Then they found out, they said something wrong with the water. I'm like, what's wrong with the water? Because technically, I've been locked into coaching this week, so I haven't been into the news. But I'm like, they was like, well, yeah, I think they had a boil water advisory, and they was drinking the water. So
wait, what side you on? What side you on?
I'm on Josephine. I'm up to.
So
you had water problems too?
Yeah. They said something was wrong with
I was on the West Bank. Hold on.
So we lost water in Algiers. We had no water in Algiers.
But hold on, he just brought something to my attention, Rick. Remember I was telling you I had a stomach problem yesterday? I had a stomach problem today.
No, but that was for the East Bank.
No, but I drank water. They were supposed to give us a water advisory yesterday.
For the East Bank?
No, for the West Bank. When your water shut off, when it first come back on, you got about 2 or 3 hours to let it generate. Remember I was telling you,
that water?
Yeah, that's why I was having a stomach. What you call it? Remember I told you it was a frustrating morning for me yesterday because I was 9 all of something. 9 makes sense. So Uptown didn't have water.
Yes, I don't drink faucet water,
but no, you couldn't wash the teeth. You couldn't flood, none of that. So all that was out.
Yeah.
So man,
What you was doing drinking faucet water, brother?
I had a cup. I got a cup of it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had a big old ice cup, and I ain't have no cold water. Boy. And I ain't want to go bust open none of the bags. I ain't want to go to the shade. So I said, man, I'm gonna go eat and trust it.
Boy, this ain't the old New Orleans. No.
Man, that's why. Now I may have to call on Ben Crump. I might got a case. I may have a case. So what it is, me and him always talk about. 3 entities in New Orleans: Children Water Board, the sheriff I was gonna talk about. I might Luther man. You know somebody else almost had to escape. They was like 2 minutes from getting out. You seen that story, Rick? They almost had another escape. The sheriff, Children Water Board, and Nord cannot stay out the news. Why is it? And that's not like side entities. That's big entities. They got a starting job.
Okay, so for me, I'll put it this way, right? So when you have someone, I'll use the mayor, former mayor, T.D. That's what everybody says. Everybody used Children Water Board and Energy to attack T.D., right?
Right.
So they made it a big media problem, right?
Right.
And they blamed her for it. So now the next mayor is in, and people, we got to hold that same standard.
Right.
So now every time Children Water Board have a problem, they're going to say, well, y'all did this to TD, well, y'all did this. So now the same thing that they made a problem is going to always stay in the news.
Well, I mean, I respect that point. But who else is there to hold accountable?
Right.
But the mayor. Ain't they the chair of the
president? I agree.
I'm
not disagreeing with you. But that was the thing. There were some of the major things that they attacked her with.
Yeah.
So guess what? Now the next mayor come in and they trying to say, well, it's not my fault. Well,
but it's even more your fault now because it was not only you the mayor, but you who the president of the Children Water Board.
But she was at large too.
Yeah.
So they already knew where this was going anyway.
But you know the city got responsible for Children Water Board now.
Yeah, the council took over.
Yeah, the council took over. Now, but the mayor is still the president of the board of Children Water Board.
But all her friends is on the council seats.
So it should get fixed. You would think.
You hopefully.
Yeah.
But it shows you deep down what it's showing you now is that it was never a male problem.
Well,
Because now she's in position and all her friends is in position. If it was a male problem, right, it should be fixed now. But is it fixed?
it's not.
and
So,
it's-
So
the
now
same
that
thing.
it's not fixed, right? Can
Right.
we apologize and say, well, we sorry to the former mayor because we realized it really wasn't your
Well,
doing?
hold
you're
on.
totally right. Well, you're right.
Well,
You're
Susan-
right. Well,
Susan
who's
Hudson-
accountable?
Well,
Because
who's-
we need to
But
find out
hold
who's
on.
accountable.
It's the same thing with Susan Hudson. Was it Susan Hudson?
What,
Was
with
it
the jailbreak?
no, I'm saying the sheriff. Before the new sheriff came in, the old sheriff stayed in the news. Now this department stay in the news. They just arrested a sheriff for possibly human trafficking and drugs and everything.
Yeah.
So before she got in office, the sheriff department stayed in the news. Now she took office, and the sheriff still stay in the news.
Again, like once you highlight something, it's highlighted forever until somebody basically calms it down or changes it. It because I can't use that against one person, right? To make that person look bad and not hold a new person to the same standard. And that's the problem. Like with society, like, okay, we'll use, like we talking politics. We have Biden and we have Trump, right? We blame Biden for this, right? But we gonna tell Trump, well, it's okay. No, we gotta hold both people, no matter what it is, to the same fire.
Right.
And that's the problem. Like, we want to take it off, like you said, like the new sheriff's in, right?
Right.
But we having the same problem.
Right.
So was it was it her problem?
Yeah.
You see, sometimes the problem is a systematic problem. Sometimes it's the person at the top, right? You control something, but you got to look at it. They're controlling a lot of people. She
Right.
can't stop because every individual gonna act on their own.
Right.
If a sheriff want to bring drugs or tobacco or whatever into the system, right? You can go by every metric to check them, to search, but it's still gonna happen because you still find ways to try to beat the system.
Right.
Yeah.
You won't have everybody that works in the entity won't be great for that system, right? You still gonna have criminal-minded individuals that work in the system, right?
Right.
That's gonna try to beat the system.
You're right.
So is it the person at top fault? Because sometimes they doing the best they can.
This is
Go
what
ahead.
I think. I think that they should stop just assigning seats. People should literally be qualified to sit in those seats. Like if you have a person over the sewage and water board, you should really went to school to understand.
The guy they hired, he actually
He did, but now they got rid of him.
No, you talking about the black ball
The
guy?
well, where he at?
No, he's he's still the top. He still got a job.
He's still all right. So he got a job.
Yeah.
But everybody on there is what I'm saying should be able to work in that department. The chair and the president, you should have knowledge about how water systems work, how water management work.
Right.
So the mayor should be excluded. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you shouldn't be on a board seat.
Because you're the mayor.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Not just because you're the mayor. You should have people who understand the industry.
And understanding RUMs, when you do that, the mayor got say so with the lack of experience. So can you imagine they sitting at a round table and they know she tied to Gail Benson to the hip. It's like everywhere you see, you be like, dang, they close. And she says something in a room where she got limited experience, her name and her position still gonna hold weight.
Right.
In a room where she really don't have no experience.
Right.
And you're right about that. I think by taking her out of the room and just advising her and letting her know what's going on will be better than having her, because you're the mayor, any mayor. When you sit at that table, you carry so much weight that they may just be in agreeing to something that ain't even right for them.
Because you think about the money, like you sit on boards to understand how that organization works.
Right.
A lot of people sit and you don't have experience. You really just, you watching something. You
Right.
get what I'm saying? You overseeing something.
Right.
For me, one thing I always say about New Orleans, right, and it's no disrespect to any mayor or anyone, right, I believe that the city New Orleans should always be ran by somebody that was born and bred in New Orleans. Because the problem about this is we have people come in with different mind frames. New Orleans is not like no other city.
Right.
We have our own culture. We have our own everything. New Orleans is just New Orleans, right? You bringing people from different states to run New Orleans, right? Their mindset is not born and bred in New Orleans. So the way we feel about this, the way we feel about the potholes, the way we feel about things,
Right.
They don't see it the same way.
I'm gonna ask you this question: if I move here from another state, how long should it take for me? And I'm only asking this question because you're limiting yourself to the population of. Imagine every city around the United States open to hiring whoever they want, picked and choose for the best candidate, and we limit ourselves. If our population was 400,000 to 400,000 candidates, out of that 400,000, you may only have 10 that's really qualified for the job. But because I'm from another state, I don't think
it's another city in America like New Orleans.
But you still are limiting yourself to 10 qualified people when it could be a search of. Let's just say they got over America. They have 10,000 people. Instead of you doing a check for 10,000, you only got 10 qualified. Like, how many people really qualified to sit in some of these positions if we only limited to the population? Now, certain things, the culture board of directors, that's us. That means I'm advising the mayor on what's culture. Before it's just the water and all that stuff, get the best candidate.
The reason I say that, because I feel that a person from New Orleans, they will get the best. I believe they will get the best. Because if I'm the mayor, right, and I don't know about water, right, what am I going to do? I'm going to get because I know the standard and the level that I'm judged at. So if I know I'm judged at a higher level than you because you may have been more qualified, that means the people around me that I put in place, they can't be my friends. Right. They can't be, we went to college. They got to be professional people, right? Because now, when I'm getting attacked, I'm coming to a professional. Right. And I'm telling you, that's your job because you are the professional.
Right.
And that's better than having an unqualified person in water being running something that they don't have knowledge about. Right. That's the difference. So when I say that, right, because we as New Orleans are passionate about our city. Right. No one can say nothing about our city, right?
That's a fact.
But no disrespect. TD, I love TD, right? But you think TD and Helena feel like we feel about New Orleans?
I would say TD.
No. And I love TD.
I would say no. And I ran into her a few times on a few different occasions.
She loved New Orleans.
She loved the culture.
She came here in college. She loved the culture, right?
She loved the culture. But she's not from here.
They not. So that's why it's able to. And I'll even piggyback all the way down to Nord, right? Because we haven't touched that. Look at how many parks not open. When I was coming up, every park and you had
all day.
Hold on. It was an all day, but the population in New Orleans dropped after Katrina tremendously. So a lot of parks, and we talked about this reverse, the population is not the same.
No, but the thing is too, they rebranded the whole
exactly.
That's that seat.
Look at what like growing up, I coach at Melanie.
Right.
I knew Melanie's boys' home growing up.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know Melanie had a park. I knew Melanie's boys' home, right? Yeah. No disrespect to me. I coached there. But you got A.L. Davis in the heart of Uptown. Nothing's going on right now. Right? You got Taylor Park right up the street from there. Nothing is really going on there. Right. You got the heart of Uptown. Basically, you using A.L. Davis for Super Sunday.
But I'm asking you a question. Should the city do the same thing that they did with Carr? Carr now have Berman Stadium. I would say this. Do you think that the city of New Orleans, if the people from Uptown get together and say, well, give us that deal where we have our own park now, and we responsible for the grass, the whole 9 yards. We'll take control over these parks that's not used, and now we could utilize them on most stuff that we want to use them on for, because we work the deal out with the city, and we take care of maintenance and everything.
So if it was supposed to be, I feel like the organization should be able, not a business, because Nord
No, what I'm saying is, like, say we from Uptown and we sit down with Nord in the city and say, y'all not using this park. It's just a park. Berman Stadium was up, but it was owned by Nord. But now Carl got Berman Stadium. So Carl is assuming some responsibility of taking care of that stadium.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But I feel like just like that, Carr is still, that's a charter system. That's a school, a nonprofit, right?
Right.
They have nonprofits who does sports, who could take over it. You know what I'm saying?
And so not a regular park in the neighborhood that don't have a program now. So if we have a nonprofit. We come together with a charter and say we could run flag leagues. We could do some things over here to get this park back active. Would you turn it over to us and do us the same deal that you did with Carl?
Yeah, I feel like still is a money grab with that, and we're gonna take a break in a second.
I don't think the city will do it. He said I don't think they'll do it. You got to look at like who.
But they did it with Carr.
I'm saying they did it with Carr.
Yeah. But I'm explaining, right? You got to look at what Carr has become, right? Football wise,
right?
Carr is ranked in the country as a high school football program, right? What high school football program that's ranked in the country that don't have their own football field?
They do though. Carr have his own field.
That's a practice field.
What he's saying like
field. You go to Texas and look at all the ranked schools.
Yeah,
they have their own field, right? So the money that Carr is generating, right? The city, everybody look at it. They have to have a stadium. So the money that Carr generates, what game you see Carr that's not sold out? Guess what? When you look at the end of the day, it's all money deals.
Yeah,
and who else can bring in what Carl doing right now?
No, and this is what I'm saying. So if we go to see a park in there, and we say the same thing, I think that we could take over one of these parks that's not being utilized like it was when we came up. Now we running our own flag leagues. We running our own leagues.
It's still generating money.
It's generating money, but it's not in the hands of Nord anymore. It's like we going to Nord saying, I'm gonna take this off your hand. That's what Carl did for Nord. You know the maintenance and all that is causing you. I'm gonna take it off your hand and we gonna run it and control it. So one of these pokes that used to be popping, if we get together and come up with a plan and go to Nord and say, you don't got no team on here. The restaurant's not open, they dirty and everything. We'll take it from right here and take it off your hand. Why we can't get a deal like that?
Like you said, it's a money grab.
We can't do it because we won't.
How we can't? We telling me we can't generate a flag league?
Because Carl coming to the table, right?
Yeah.
You believe Carl came to the table empty-handed? Carl came to the table with millions, showing that this the money we bring in, right? But this the money we got to pay tag only. This the money we got to pay all the rest of these stadiums, right? So Carl coming to the deal saying, listen, we got 7-8 games a year. We gonna make this amount of money.
Right.
We can give Nord this, and we keep this, right? So we gonna maintenance, we gonna clean, we gonna fix. Us three, we can get $300 million. If we go to Nord and say, hey, we got $300 million, most they'll do is sell us the park. But the deal that Carl got, you got to prove that you're able to do what Carl do.
So and this is what I'm saying. So at these parks that have their own things, if we already had a league and we got a league that's consistent on running, we pull that league to the park. Now we could show you that each one of these teams normally do this or whatever, and we're gonna go to this or whatever. We won't put a boxing on. We gonna do the boxing thing. We can prove that with the numbers in here we have. I think that with the Pokes, since they complaining that the population ain't the same, if they turn it over to community people and we take care of them.
Yeah, I agree. I agree too, because all they had was tag on me when we was growing up. All they had was tag on me and pan down.
Yeah,
that was it.
So we gonna go to a quick commercial break, and once again, this is sponsored by Everybody's Coffee. Let's take a drink.
Tell everybody. It's time for everybody. Wake up, everybody. This for everybody.
Welcome back, everybody. Man, I hope you guys enjoyed that first discussion. Man, it goes to show you, all of us come from what's perceived to be ghetto, but no one would consider us ignorant or not smart. And it goes to show you how they put the stigma on you when you're young. But anybody can say whatever they want you to be, but it's up for you to live up to that or overcome that. Let's talk about your overcoming. Just being in New Orleans in general, coming from that environment.
Well, like we all talked about, right? I was born and raised in the Magnolia housing projects. My family was on Josephine Street, and I was born and raised in the Magnolia. So, coming up, I was one of the ones in the project who had both parents. So I was born and bred with my mother and father. So my dad was older, 36 when I was born. So I was always, he just always taught me to be a man. Like the things my dad used to tell me, I wouldn't understand when I was young, but he never gave me the answers. He'll tell me stuff like, when you become a man, you're going to eat crap and bark at the moon. I didn't understand that, but I don't curse, so that's why I don't use the word. So I didn't understand that. And I was just like, man, what are you talking about? And I never would understand it. But, growing up, I went to Wilson. I played flag football, played in the band. I went to Cohen High School, graduated, top 10 in the class, scholarship to LSU. I played football. When I got to LSU, I was diagnosed epilepsy. I played 1 year, I redshirted. I transferred to Southern University. When I got to Southern, it was just like, man, it was terrible. Like, you know, because they couldn't deal with the medical situation. The football situation was like, I went from LSU where we practicing, you know, 2 times a day sometimes. Southern, I get there, you got guys missing days of practice. I'm like, man, it was like, so coming from structure going to Southern was like, man, so I really didn't even, I end up just not even playing at Southern. Yeah. So basically, Katrina happened. I left school in 04. No, I came back. I left school in 04. I quit playing football. I ended up going back to Southern right before Katrina. Storm hit, come back, we left, we go to Beaumont. Man, like, I come back to New Orleans, like, instantly. I came back in 2000 I came back in 05. Yeah, I came back in 05, October 05. Right. Next year, I came back, got a job, started working. The next year, 2006, I won $87,000 in the casino. So, you know, that changed my life as far as, like, image-wise. So, you know, Hankton, you know, when people hear Hankton, the first thing they think about is the streets. Like, for me, I wasn't that kid. Never been arrested as a juvenile, no convictions. My first conviction was at 27. I ended up on a RICO charge with my cousins, with Telly and the rest of my family. But it was like, if you go do the research on my case, it was a shooting. I used my own legal gun. It was a self-defense. I just didn't stay on the scene. But once I was indicted and the state dropped the charges. The feds picked me up. I had no convictions first time going to the feds. So having to fight that, and I'm up in here with 14 people, and I'm the youngest person on the case at the time. I'm 27. The next youngest person is my brother, and he's 6 years older than me, so he's 33. Right. So I'm they telling me a life sentence. So, you know, my issue was that, like, I say it all the time, like, I'm never going to deny I did the shooting. I did it, but it was in self-defense. Yeah. But they didn't care about what I said. They wanted me to testify on my family.
So how long did you actually sit for that?
11 years. I did 11 years I did 11 years in, like, 7 months.
So you got sentenced?
I got sentenced to 14 years, first-time offender. From a gun conspiracy. They dropped the RICO on the drugs and charged me with a gun conspiracy.
And that was in the Fed.
And that was in federal system, first time charge.
That was crazy.
Man, so and going through a situation like that, and your family, the Hankton family, have made the news. I remember when the police chief, Rhino Surpass at the time, had your cousin face on a T-shirt during the press conference saying, "Ain't nobody scared of Telly Hankton or whatever." You remember? You know what I'm talking about?
100%.
Yeah.
And see, it was almost like what I've learned. What that taught me was that no matter who you are as a person, the media can vilify anybody. Right. They can paint any picture because you can talk to every prison Telly been to. You can talk to every one of his kids' mothers. You can talk to people in the community. That's not who he is, and it's never who he was. And that's just, but also it's that, like the system always says is to protect us and things like that. But when you have, if you look in the case itself, right, when you have a police that admitted to giving other individuals guns and money to try to kill him, what, that's the police against me. So, like, the police chief, they ain't gonna tell y'all that, but if you look in the case, you're gonna see as an officer that was arrested, he was admitted to giving guns and money to individuals to try to kill Telly.
So, and I heard it on the tapes. His case, do it make it hard? And we talked about this with the attorney that we had on last time, Rick. Once your case hit nation news and you become the talk, and we asked the attorney, do it make it difficult? He said, man, once you hit the news and then you go nation, it's totally different. I don't think that's a person in our generation that don't know who Telly Hankton is. So once you start getting like that, when you was in that trial, did you say to yourself, we're going to lose just because?
But technically, it was 4 people that went to trial. I wasn't one of them. Like me, it was like 7 of us that took a plea deal. And I didn't take a plea deal because I was guilty. I took a plea deal because we was already sitting 6 years. Yeah. I had been I had been in jail from 2011. The trial was 2017. We had been sitting 6 years. They offered everyone a deal. With my charge and me reading and my lawyer and the information I got, my max was 10 years. So I was looking at 6 to 8 years. So everybody thought me taking a plea deal as a first-time offender, that I would walk out.
Right. So you, by doing 6 years, you only had to do like 4 or 5?
Yeah. So So basically what happened was, like I'm saying, I was expecting to get out. I was expecting to get sentenced to maybe 6 to 8 years at the most. Right? But I got the most time anybody taking a plea deal. All my co-defendants had prior convictions. And I ended up with 14 years. My brother had a prior conviction. Yeah. He had 11. He got 11 years. My other co-defendant, he got 10. And I think 2 of us got 14, me and another one. And I ain't have any convictions.
Did somebody ever explain that to you, why? Or you just took it and then moved on?
So technically, at that moment, I accepted it, but I started fighting my own case. Like, so I went to putting in motions and I went to fight, and I realized there was too many flaws in my case. If you look up my case, you'll see that I filed appeal. I appealed almost everything 3 times. I had a case, like, it was clean cut. Like, the evidence they used against me was illegal because they tried to say that I possessed a gun at the same time where I had a drug charge, right? So the reason why it didn't add up, because the drug charge that I was arrested on was 2004, right? I was arrested. Never convicted, I was only arrested. And the gun charge that they used, I bought the gun in 2006.
Right.
Every gun I ever had was purchased. So I bought it in 2006. So how could I have possessed this firearm at the same time as this drug? So it's called grouping, where they group charges, where they take 2 separate charges, put it together, and enhance you in a federal system. So I was I was illegally grouped. They enhanced my charges. So, I accepted it. And as I started to fight, I realized that once you take a plea deal, you give up all your rights.
All right.
Unless you can prove that your lawyer was ineffective, you don't have a way to get back in. But, through the grace of God, like, Donald Trump passed the CARES Act, and the CARES Act was in my charge, right? This is the craziest thing in the world. Like, I would argue with one of my case manager. I would say I'm a violent offender because, again, it's a shooting, right? He kept telling me, you're not violent. I'm like, how? So, and this is the craziest thing about my charge. I'm only on a gun conspiracy. So the shooting charge that I'm not on that. I'm only on a gun conspiracy, right?
Yeah.
A gun conspiracy, right? Which is a crazy thing, but it's a gun conspiracy because I had the right to bear arms, legal gun. So when the courts look at me like I'm violent because of the shooting, the cross-reference to the shooting. And the BOP, they don't look at the cross-reference, they look at the exact charge. So my charge in itself is only a gun conspiracy. Everything that falls under gun conspiracy is not violent. So by everything under that statute not being violent, you can't charge me as a violent offender.
Right.
So when the CARES Act passed, everybody non-violent, you earn extra good time, right? So I was credited with 17 months off my sentence.
Let's go.
And I came home early.
So I got a question for you. So throughout that whole trial, like not the physical trial, but that time. What was the biggest lesson that you learned?
Well, again, the biggest lesson that I learned in that whole situation was that, like I spoke on, I don't care how good of a person you is. I was a high school student, high school athlete, graduated top 10 in my class, scholarship, LSU. I had no negative on my record. But if you look at the media and you listen to the stories, like, the judge labeled me one of the leaders of a gang that they say started in 2000 and they say the gang started in 99. No. Because how old I was 11. I was 10 or 11. Oh, 96. Yeah, they say the investigation started in 96. In January of 96, I was 11 years old. Right? So you're saying that this gang started in 96. I was 11 years old in January 96. Then they saying, the judge made a statement saying that I was an individual. He looked at me as an individual that got away with crime my whole life. And I'm like, I'm not a person that got away with crime my whole life. I'm a person that committed a crime. Right? And they tied me to the family. And they telling me that I was a leader and I was the youngest person on the case. So so what it taught me was, and like my high school principal was in that with me, and she told me, she was like, I think you got punished from being an educated person. She was like, they look at you, they know you smart, they looking at all your credentials, so they saying you was a mastermind in this.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I'm 10 years younger than all my oldest cousins. My brother's 6 years older. How the hell can I be the brain? So that means, okay, look, from 2002 to 2005, I was in college. Who was running it then? Mm-hmm. I came back in 06, I won $80,000. Like, it's nothing they can, I worked for the Army Corps Engineers, redoing a levee after Katrina. I was making $27 an hour. We was working 7 days a week, 14 hours, 12 to 14 hours a day, right? We did the whole levee, and it had to be done in a certain time. So tell me, where did I find time to become a part of a organization?
So normally they say you're guilty of...
You're innocent until proven guilty?
No, not innocent. You got charged with being guilty for the company you keep. But in your case, by you being educated, it was like you got charged. You got a higher... Normally that fall in line where you get charged and you'll be at the bottom of it. But now it reversed it because...
So the crazy thing about it is this, right? Everybody on the case with, I know these guys. But like I introduced myself, I was born and raised in the Magnolia Housing Project. This indictment is Josephine Street. That's family. I call these guys friends and brothers now because we went through this together, but those are all my brothers and cousin friends.
Yeah, ain't your friend.
Like, I know them.
You respect them, but
they're
that ain't
family,
your friend.
but like these guys,
they older
6
than
and
me.
7 years older than me. I couldn't hang around these.
Right.
Growing up, right, I always respected these guys and so many other guys that I look up to today because they never allowed me to get caught up in. They never allowed me in the streets. Mm-hmm. Even when I tried to play around and they'll give me money and say, "Man, go ahead. You got too much going on to be doing this." So
and that's the part of the hood side of the story. They don't see. But that happened a lot. A lot of guys had great characters. They didn't let certain guys get into
involved,
it.
Yeah. And
get
the
in
same
there,
way, I was like one of them too. You know, growing up with football and everybody was like, man, look, you gonna be the reason that we get out here. You know, like you can't be around none of this. Everybody's shooting their little dice and doing what they do. They're like, no, stay away. And that's what they don't see. You know what I'm saying? But that's why they was probably so afraid too of who you were or who you could potentially become.
And that was the thing, like, you know, for me, like, you know, I never, like, I promise to God, but growing up, I didn't know the Hankton reputation. I just thought people respected me. Yeah. Like, I would go anywhere.
I was going to ask you about that.
I would go anywhere and everywhere, bro, because I was like, I was a superstar football player. I was Nord. I was like one of the best players. So, you know, I think I'm good looking. You know, I had women. You know, I go. So, like, I knew a lot of people. I would go everywhere. Yeah. And I just assumed it just was that, right? Man, I didn't realize this until after Katrina that, like, the real reputation. Like, I know my cousins who was doing, I hear stories, but, you know, I'm not thinking that respect passed down that far.
Oh yeah,
right?
it do.
I didn't know. I'm not thinking the respect passed down that far. So when people try to, like I tell you, when people try to like make that Hankton a negative, like you got to think about what we had to go through, like just from having that name. Yeah. Right. And until this, like before this, how many people heard Telly and thought negative?
Right.
So now it becomes a negative because that's what the media wanted to be, and that's what I learned. I learned that, man. Listen, like. Whatever they want to make you, you can be a great guy. If they won't vilify you, like they gonna do it.
Right. And when you walk around with that reputation, I got partners that have had brothers that, as we say, put in some work. I noticed as a kid, the politics went on where how they treated him or whatever, because they didn't want the raft to come down from up. So they'll let him get by with doing certain things, and then if another kid that didn't have any older siblings, they will kind of, you have an 18-year-old fighting an 11-year-old might choke him up or whatever on the strength. He didn't have anybody coming behind him, but on the other side, my other partner, I watch how they'll be like, man, you know what, I'm gonna tell your brother or whatever. They'll calm down the tone down.
And what's crazy about that is like, right, I was, like I said, that's how it was, right? But I was always the guy that if all my friends know one thing, I love all my friends. I protected all my friends.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna let. And again, at this time, I didn't know the respect thing, right? But I wasn't gonna let nobody just do my man. Don't know. Like he with me,
Right.
You know, because I feel like if I allow that, bro, that's like, you know, no, because like my friends, like man, we was tight knitted. Like we was a tight knit group. You know what I'm saying? And like I love my friends to death, man. Like, you know, it hurt me sometimes now that we still don't have that relationship. But you know, you get older and like things like, you know, fizzle out and you start to identify certain different things. But Chad, like, you know, I was the one I protected, like all my friends. I was the one that went up against the bully. Like when the bully won't try to bully people, like it was me. I stood up a lot of times growing up because I never liked the bully. Like
How much you was bench pressing?
I didn't even lift weights in high school. I didn't lift. Man, listen. I just was naturally like I had size. Yeah. And I always tell people like that was my downfall when I got to LSU, like weights. Yeah. Like I got to LSU straight true freshman. I was maxing squatting like 650, 700. And I had never lift weights. Damn. Like high school when it was a weight day, man, I go up and hey coach, what we doing? Hey man, we hitting weights today. I go hit it might hit 135, 145 a few times, and I'm out of there. Yeah. Right. I might go run. Let me go. I'm going somewhere.
Rick, when in the heart of when you were playing football, did you used to like that part of it?
What, the weight part?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, I got my size. I was practicing with all the big boys. Like I said, I was the youngest coming from the park, and I had got recruited to come and play with John Mack.
Right.
Like, I think in my 10-11 league, they wanted me to start already getting groomed with the big kids.
Right.
So I was already lifting what the big people was lifting and shit,
right.
you know? So I think the experience, it expedited me, but also knowing how to be more mature because I was around a bunch of mature individuals, you know? So it was promising until I broke myself up.
I hated that workout. I'm like him. That workout part, I'm already better than them. You got to show me I need this part.
But I wasn't. So by me being, I was better than the park boys.
Right.
So I was better at doing push-ups and running laps. But when you got in that weight room, it was like, man, could you be a man? You know what I'm saying? Right. And I think I shouldn't have did that. I should have finished my park league. Right. And then, you know, I tried to expedite myself.
But see, that was
from poverty. You know what I'm saying?
But that was something my dad never allowed me to do.
Yeah.
You know, like my dad played baseball. My dad was a baseball guy. So my dad never allowed me. Like I see kids play football all year round. Mm-hmm. I see kids push themselves. It was football season, I'm playing football. Yeah. Basketball season, I'm playing basketball. Baseball season, I'm playing baseball. Yeah. Like all that training and all that stuff. Like I tell people, if you really want like learn how to really catch, I learned how to catch playing baseball.
Right.
So I was catching over my head when I was 9, 10 years old. So and that was a baseball.
Right.
So when I started catching a football, looking over my shoulder, it was easy because I got two hands in a baseball. I can only use this one glove.
Right. And I'm gonna ask you a question, and you can answer this too, Rick. We come from the era of you was an all-around player.
Yeah.
Most of us now we started seeing kids just stick to basketball or stick to football. Like even Iverson, they talk about how good Moss was in both sports. Most of our whole generation, you got guys that was good in 2 or 3 sports. And if they sitting on the bench for the other one, they just on the team because their partner's playing. But they was really stars. Why you think that's going away now?
So I just think people looking at the money in sports now. So when they look at the money, they want to. I see kids now. Parents want to just have their kid focus on that, right? Not realizing that everything work hand to hand, right? If you was a basketball star, right? Football gonna make you physical. You have no choice,
right?
If you a football player, right, and you're a receiver and you playing baseball, the eye-hand coordination of the baseball gonna help you catch it, right? So everything to me, basketball helped the offensive lineman with your footwork,
right?
Because you can't travel, right? So everything work hand to hand, and I think that's what people forgetting about. Like we did it because really. Our parents didn't have the money to pay these trainers.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So every sport, we used it to get better. And then when we got on the football field, those things work hand to hand with each other.
Right.
Yeah, and now it's a lack of, you know, growing up with the kids in the parks, like we mentioned early on in the conversation. The parks don't have the different sports. Some of it's funded, some of it's not. So you'll have a full football team that's funded. But when it's baseball season, they partially funded. You know what I'm saying? So that plays a part. But when we were growing up, when it was really Nord, you had everybody.
And I would say, and I tell people this all the time, it's not even so much Nord. Nord was the organization that we played for. But I say this, it's the free play that we allow as a kid. Okay. Your coach taught you the rules. Now you got a chance to. For the Fridays, if y'all didn't have practice Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we really playing football, and you get to, oh yeah, coach showed me how to back up, and he showed me how to slide my leg. We playing football. So them 3,000 hours that you putting in outside of practice, they got kids that only practice with a trainer, and then when games come, you wonder why he is not turning over. It's that free play that got us.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying too. That's when it was more funded.
Yeah.
When it was under NARD, it was more funded. NARD C, I still don't understand it.
So I don't really understand. I don't even know that business. But another thing, like, right, y'all don't think about like how like the churches and the community centers don't exist no more.
No, they there, but they not in participation.
What meaning that? So when we was coming up, you had church league basketball.
Yeah. Right.
You had project league. You had project league flag football and basketball.
I told
you had
you
project
that.
league, literally. Well, they don't have that no more.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at like what all of a sudden, because I come home from prison, like everything is gone.
Yeah.
The church had basketball league. Saturday fed you Saturday. You had your little church study, but you had basketball, project league, flag football. You had all of these things, and all of a sudden it's just like I come back. We got more money, but we losing activities. How?
Yeah, and then like what he's saying, Rick, we literally had it on Wednesday was our day for us in a big gym with the crowds. We had a project league inside of project league. He let us every street get to pick their team. You signed up. We had 16 teams, did the bracket. Y'all gonna play 8 games or whatever. And then we had the Nord. We played for Nord too. So it was us.
It was all year round.
Yeah,
man, that's what I'm telling you. Like I remember you. Like how old are you on me now?
I'm 42.
Okay, you might mean you. I'm about to make 40. So look, the Melf, they got a basketball court outside. We playing on the concrete in an open corner Melf. Rosenwald, you got a gym. Desire, you got a gym. St. Bernard, they had a gym. Like, man, it like
and it was packed and stacked.
It was packed, yeah. So and I think that's another reason, like with the divide of the kids too. Yeah. With all of this beef stuff. Because like, man, in our era, like you knew that kid. Yeah. Like, man, I know him, man.
That's a fact.
You know, like we knew each other in like like.
And then even traveling, I remember busloads from the Fisher. They'll come and have to play in the Desire Center. They came in as safe, and we let them guys. It was the guys that was. Oh my goodness. We was letting guys like they'll come in there, and you'll have the guys. Coach already put them aside. Make sure these guys can get in and out because if you can't have the Magnolia, you can't have any projects come in here. Then it mess up the whole league. I'm talking about dude, and that's just how it was, and it was fun. I think our kids miss out on it. You go to the gym. 8 o'clock in the morning, why leave? They had chess, boxing,
everything.
Anything free that came through there.
I remember that part. And why I say that's what everybody was really striving to be athletes then. Or we was in more physical condition too. Yeah, it just because everybody was always active, up to sundown.
Can you remember just taking off running and it looked like a track? If they could have clocked us, everybody was breaking it. And you was fast, but you be like, dude, he fast too. If you was a second late, now these kids can run. The fast guy run, he gonna win no matter what. Now it was if you didn't take off right, Rick.
It's so crazy because like he talk about like man, I come home, I'm looking at 14 and 15-year-olds get calls for birthday for gifts. Yeah, I'm like man, listen, I caught the bus until my 12th grade year. Like we walked and caught the bus everywhere we wanted to go. Nowadays, you can't get these kids to walk to the corner store.
I rode a bike.
Right.
So let's jump into the now you're a mentor, right? Yeah. You're a mentor now. You transition from what you overcame, and you're mentoring people about the incarceration. I don't know how that goes, but I know you're a part of DBI now. What is your role within the organization?
So I was at DBI. I was the family reunification coordinator.
Okay, and what does that entail? So
that entails I deal directly with the incarcerated parents. So basically, they contact me for whatever they need. So I try to help any with law work. If they need help fighting a case, whatever, I try to help that way. But also the main thing is the ones coming home. So everybody that's coming home, basically, I help them out with ID. I hook them up with all the resources. Help them find jobs. So DBI is connected to they connected to Job 1, First 72. We connected to a lot of different nonprofits also. So basically my job is always to make sure that when somebody come home, I would just try to make sure I get them a package, right?
Okay.
Some underclothes, toothbrush, toothpaste, all that, socks, that underwear, things like that. Then I would also give them a package with all the resources. So I would connect them in the right direction. We'll have a sit-down meeting. We'll buy them a phone if we can and swap, give them the information. So whatever they need, that's what I help out with. So any questions they need me to come get them, bring them to First 72 to get the ideas, whatever they need, like, for the first week coming home, because I know, like, from experience, like, coming home, like, a lot of people don't have the resources or the help that I did.
Yeah.
Right. I was just blessed. I came home to a great situation, right? Everybody don't have that. Some people come home and don't have nothing. They have to wear the clothes that they was incarcerated that they come home with for a few days, right? So, it was my job just to always make sure that I put them in the best situation possible. And even though that I'm not even with DBI anymore, I still do that same thing. So I'm still doing it just for free. I just, like, people still contact me. I got people incarcerated that need help. I send money. I help out any way I can because, like, for me, this is not a job.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Most people, it's not the job. It was basically the love that I have, to know what it's like coming home from prison.
For sure.
Once again, this segment is brought to you by Everybody's Coffee. Let's take a drink.
Tell everybody, it's time for everybody. Wake up, everybody. This for everybody.
All right, everybody, welcome back, man. This is an informative conversation that we having with Troy Hankton, and I hope it's just as informative to you. So we left off asking you a little bit about, the services that you do as an entrepreneur, but you also are a designer as well, huh? So you're rocking your own gear.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that, man.
So, like, through everything I've been through, right, it was a quote I seen, and it said, I made some mistakes I can't change. So I changed so I won't make the same mistakes. So truly humble is basically me and everything I've been through. They say in life things will humble you, right? So it was a situation where I just, I stand 10 toes down on it. So truly humble. So that's a brand. That's what I created. And I think it defines who I am today and everything I've been through.
Is it out there where people can get it also?
And no, not at this moment. I was a little further along, but when I'm working a full-time job now, I'm coaching everything. It slowed down, but I'm actually about to pick it back up because I just did something for Melanie. Like on my social media page, I had 2 outfits that I wore Friday and Saturday So yeah, I'm about to pick it back up coming soon.
All right, and now you have made a crazy decision to go back and coach at Nord football. Now, my son, I call myself the water boy coach for Morris Jeff. I'm always working at sideline with the water bottles. You're actually a coach or whatever. It take patience to do a job like that. How it is back in their own trenches.
I love it, man. Like, football is my first love. I take football over women.
You're a humble man for real.
So like football is my first love. So I just think it's time for me to give back to the young kids. Everything I've been through in my life, it's time. Everything I've learned. So it's time. I look at Nord. I was disappointed in a lot of things about Nord. I don't like how a lot of things is ran, especially looking at the football side of it. So, I just came in with my knowledge, and I just want to implement something and teach these young kids, like, the fundamentals of football and what it's like.
And what age bracket?
I'm at 9-year-old. We just played Morris Jeff Saturday.
Y'all won?
Yeah, we won 12-0.
That was a scrimmage.
Yeah, it was a scrimmage.
Like I said, I put the backups in, y'all.
Yeah.
So we know back in the day too, NOR was once funded for sports programs and organizations, whether it was through a booster club or them actually giving direct funding. What is that structure like now? Do you guys, the coaches, supporting parents, have to pay for the trips to different parks, the uniform? What does that look like?
Yes, so that was my only thing. Like, getting back in it, that was the disappointing thing. So when I first came, a lot of people wanted me to help, and I was just like, financially, like, I wasn't ready. Because the type of coach I am, if I see a kid that need anything, need a haircut for school, I'm gonna pay for it. You need tennis shoes, you need school. That's just a passion and love. So like now, everybody, it gives a budget. Like, it's a budget. Every parent have a budget which pays for the uniform and things like that, which I like. It's hard for me to even accept and see that, because I feel like the money that NOR brings in, that should be a done deal. Like, kids have to buy their own helmets and shoulder pads now.
But back then the jerseys that we wore is totally different from the jerseys that they wear. Nord actually, they got the free jerseys that we wore. The kids today just don't think they're stylish. Most teams have 3 jerseys now, like with their name on backs. And we wore the cheap, the football jersey with the team name on there. We was cool with that back then.
My question, you come to play or look good.
Right. That's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah, but when I'm telling you now how different it is, and I think with the China deal, how they can get jerseys cheaper, I think that's why they went.
Yeah.
Because folks look-wise, they look better. Now, playing-wise, I think we was better. But, back then, they just ain't have it in our time for us to do it like that.
Yeah, but we also played to get bloody. We played to get sweaty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, the kids just want to look sweaty. Sweaty now is like the design. You know that what they, man, my son.
They come out with sweaty. They come out with smoke and everything. Yeah. Do you think the coaches would have allowed it back then? And I will say it's our generation that's coaching these players now. The coaches we come from was old school. Remember the Titans type.
Yeah,
coaches.
We was busting through the paper.
Yeah,
like
y'all had that.
Yeah,
no, that's in your time. We didn't even have that.
Yeah, we ain't
even had that.
Yeah, we didn't.
You just came out. You was on the sideline. You talked trash. And that was it.
It was like I think. Yeah, Harrell did. No, I don't remember. I think we did it for the championship.
Bust through the paper.
Yeah, bust through the paper for the championship.
What did the paper say? Because it was
Harrell Rams. Yeah. No, well, I was Harrell Rams, and who you playing against? And you just bust through.
We never had none of that.
Yeah.
And then we wore the last year helmets, all the helmets from you turn your helmet and show the pad.
We wore all that is what I'm saying. But that's why I wanted to figure out now. But all that was paid for from Nord. It was free to sign up. All you needed was your name and emergency contact.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. That's all you needed.
So they don't provide the shoulder pads and helmet like they used to do no more. No. What happened to all those helmets and shoulder pads? Because you after Katrina,
Katrina
right?
bust them up for sure.
But you played after Katrina.
I played before Katrina.
Oh.
I ain't that young. I'm 35, 36 years old.
So I wonder how the park was then, because they used to always have the uniform and pads. I thought
but everything stayed in the park.
Yeah,
you had to turn it back in or
At
whatever.
the end of the
and
year.
they sanitized it, cleaned it up, and it was ready for the next season.
Yeah.
But now I'm hearing a lot of parents that Nord no longer supply that.
They don't.
No, they don't. They don't. Nothing.
And that's that's kind of
even the mouthpieces.
Yeah, even the mouthpieces. So you got to sponsor a kid pretty much for them to play. Right. For the parents who don't have that money, it's like, how do that kid stay active? How do that kid pursue a dream that they interested in? But that's why I was asking you, what does that system look like right now? Like,
it's sponsor from the parents. Like I just told a parent, she said she didn't have money to pay the budget. I'm like, just bring the kid and we'll figure it out. And I know we're going a little long, I'm sorry, but Conrad, I had got a contact and I just told him, we was talking, I was telling him we'll just put together a fish fry. We're going to buy all the fish, put it together. Y'all do the fish fry, use it to buy helmet and equipment.
That's big. That's big. It's strenuous, but it's big.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Because they shouldn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Especially with a city that bring in $1 billion every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in the population is not what it used to be. You would think that they'll be able to do this, and then all the parks is not open. So, a little check to cover that. And just like the coaches order from China, they can get them from China on too. Get the cheap on.
Yeah, they know where all the deals
at. But this next segment we're about to walk into is called Do You Remember? This game requires you to go back in your life, and we want to see, did you pay attention? We use information from TV shows, radio shows, movies, events. We just want to know where you paying attention. All right? Okay. You in or you out?
I'm in.
All right. In a movie Life, all right? You familiar with that movie?
Yes.
Where was the Boom Boom Room located at?
The Boom Boom Room located. Right. I remember the movie. He dreaming. They fantasizing about the Boom Boom Room.
Yes.
Was it on the Vegas Strip? He said the Vegas Strip. We're gonna be on the Vegas Strip. Or was you talking about the prison cell?
The Boom Boom Room. You mentioned it.
But it ain't on Vegas Strip.
It's not on Vegas Strip.
Oh, they in a prison cell.
No.
You mentioned it before that, dude.
You said
in a dream. Fantasize.
Yes.
He fantasized in the mind. It was. He fantasized in the mind. You're right.
Good looking out. Rick helping him out.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get the question. He said they fantasized it in the mind, so I'm thinking you said where they thought it would be, but it was in the mind.
He took it back to Harlem, New York, And it goes to show you the power of the mind.
Mine.
Not only did he take them to his dream, but he dressed them up. They got the stellar segment right there. They got to dress up. Yeah. They got to look nice.
Yeah.
And tell me about that movie. What you remember the most?
What I remember the most? I just remember like two men wrongly convicted fighting their way to freedom, like trying to figure out a way to freedom. Like, I think it was one of my favorite movies, like one of them I like.
And Rick, with yours, what would you say your favorite part of that movie?
You ain't getting my cornbread. he held his own. You heard me? Gotta tell what was that part. He ain't getting my cornbread.
He ain't give up his
At the end
cornbread.
of the table when he said you're gonna be clipping his toenails and ironing his drawers if you give him that cornbread. So I think you take a guy like Martin, kind of, and it shows you how in the hood, even the straight box and the street guy, Martin did owe because he was betting. So when they shook him down in the restaurant for his money, because he owed a bet. Mm-hmm. So it goes to show you that even in the hood, the straight guy and the other guy, it's similarities in both of them. We understand certain things. We're going to play the pool together. We're going to do something or whatever. This next question. The favorite TV show, Martin. You familiar with Martin?
Yeah.
All right. What was the character name that stayed right next door for Martin? Right across the hall.
Whatchamacallit live upstairs? It must be Shanae.
Yeah. And who stayed upstairs?
Bruh man.
What floor did he stay on?
Third and fifth floor. Fifth floor. He put up 4, but he said fifth floor. Bruh man. Yeah.
On the not on Martin. What was your favorite details about Martin? Any scene?
The one when he got beat up by Tom and her.
Man, that he killed it. That last end scene when he came out, you expected crazy, but nobody expected them knots. That
yes, indeed. Listen, man.
Like he was allergic to the punches.
His name was Raw Dog. Raw Dog. Rick, you got any favorite parts of Martin?
Honestly, bro, Martin was a little bit hard for me to understand by me growing up, in the 90s, 2000s, but it was always, I guess, the part when Tommy, they was getting on Tommy about not having a job. Like, I literally still don't know if Tommy had a job.
You know what, bro? I really think he was a sex prostitute or something. I always wonder, bro, like.
For real.
But two things Martin did. Martin was rocking the J's. Him and Fresh Prince, they always rocked the J's. And I paid attention, and they got it from the Cosby Show. Him and Will did it. They rocked the J's, but also they always had HBCU sweaters on, a Malcolm X sweater. Even he had the Free Mike Tyson shirt on. So he always showed love to the culture. But my favorite one was when he acted like Nino Brown when his CD player got stolen, and he had the Rockwaller, but it wasn't really no Rockwaller. It was like a teddy bear. Yeah. And he walked around the table like Nino was. Somebody did, and then Martin said, "Sit." In the dog, and he said, "Now lay." But it was not a real dog. So for him to play that off, that's.
But it's funny you saying that. Not to jump off the They got a guy on the internet doing that right now. He acting like he blind, and he got the little dog. He be scamming people. Like, it's funny, but I'm assuming he took that from Martin. That's funny.
This last one, this last question. You in a movie, set it off. All right, you're driving up the road. Me and Rick, well, I'm on Stony. I got away. Rick just got killed.
I told you I ain't playing that role no more, bro. I'm Stony. I got away.
You Queen Latifah. Name in the movie is what? Queen Latifah name was Cleo.
Cleo. What was it, Cleo?
Yeah.
You got to go out. You could really get out the car and just be like, "Look, man, take me," or you going out like the movie ended on Set It Off.
Man, you got to be gangster to go out like that, man. I don't
you
think
like a cigarette?
I can't go out.
What you doing?
I'm gonna try to run through the calls or something like that.
You boxed in. Like, ain't no way. Either you surrender.
You know what? I think I surrender.
Surrender.
I surrender.
Now remind you, all the other robberies. They didn't kill anybody. This robbery went so bad they killed the security guard. So it was an L or it's gonna be an L. Either you're going in the box or the L. Either one of them, because I think they had 3-4 security guards dead. She didn't hit people.
To go out like she went out, bro. Listen, you gotta be a gangster.
You got it.
I can't. I ain't gangster.
I'm going out like Cleo. You hit me 2 or 3 times, I'm going already.
I was telling you that. They hit up. No, they hit up
she got out.
That's what I'm telling you. She wasn't hit till she
Or you
got out.
stayed in the car.
Yeah,
you would have just stayed in the car.
Man,
like
I'd have got
shot
out and let them do me.
That's what she
fatality.
did.
That's
They
what
shot
I
her
would have
like
did.
they shot her like about at least 100 times.
But she ain't feel all 100 bullets. She felt the first 2. After the first 2, she was already gone.
I never
Man.
moved when you see she took
Well,
her
her body,
to the last one.
yeah, that's what they wanted to sell.
Yeah, exactly.
That was that propaganda. Propaganda of food.
All right, now this is a bonus question we're gonna add on. Now we have a bonus or whatever, and we asking when we get our people, now you're gonna answer for all black people.
Okay.
All right, this question right here, you're gonna be the spokesperson for this question. Why do black people put condiment in a tub and just walk off? They season it and then walk off. Why do they do that?
For whoever else coming behind them to clean it. Listen. I'm being honest. So look, I got 2 brothers.
Yeah.
So it was 3 of us. If I go first, I'm gonna leave a comment. So if you want to take a bath, you gotta clean the tub.
Boy, that's cool.
They kind of set it up for you, but
listen,
yeah. So it's one of those things that I heard that question asked the other day, and I was saying, "What? It's like they season a tub and just walk off, like no problem." You know how like they got the chemical now that you put the blue on there,
Yeah.
and then you put it's one color, then it turns another
Turn,
color. That means it's working.
Yeah, it go to sudden up.
But the comment don't. That's nowhere in the ingredients that say like if you sit long enough or whatever.
Well, like he said, you gonna clean his ring before you get to
Man, once again, I'm the Honorable Darren D. Purnell, the street speaker himself. Man, are you agreeing to be a friend of this show and come back and visit us?
Man, anytime.
Man, you heard the brother. Look right there in that camera and let everybody know how they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at T_Hank_senior. You can find me on Facebook, Troy Hankton. You can contact me. If you're looking for me, 678-643-7672, Troy Hankton.
Once again, I'm the Honorable Darren D. Purnell, the street speaker himself. Do not forget to get our book, Business Minutes, available on Amazon. Yo, Rick.
Well, you heard the man. I hope this show was just as informative to you as it was to us. Troy, thank you for coming through, man.
Thank you for having me.
You stayed the whole show. This was kind of different, so I hope y'all appreciate what we bring to you. And as for us, man, you can find us on ERABody's Podcast. That's ERABody's Podcast on all social media platforms, and we out. Peace.